What's up everybody, Renfail here, and today we are diving into a crafting video to talk about the updated crafting system. I did not cover this when it went live, but I found out that this was in place as of the Legendary server when we jumped into Angmar the other day, and I gotta say, I absolutely love the change to how you get your crafting abilities and why I think it's so important of a change, and I just think it's absolutely amazing. It was really cool to see that in effect. So we're going to dive into that today. If you haven't already seen it, a lot of you have, a lot of you haven't, based on what we were talking about in the stream the other day. So we're going to talk about it today. Let me get a sip of my coffee. That's the last sip of that cup. I'm going to have to go get some more. And we're going to dive in. If you haven't already done so, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams happen here and on Twitch. Alright, so normally when you level up your character, you're going to get a crafting quest that's going to tell you to come here and talk to the, I believe, Master of Apprentices right here. And at this point, you're going to be prompted with this window, which shows you, it tells you to pick a craft profession here. And all of these craft professions are listed. Now, that's the way it is now. The way it used to be is that you would pick a profession and it would have 3 groupings of skills within that profession already chosen for you, and that was it. So you could only have 3 on one character, and you didn't get to choose what all 3 of those were. You did get to choose what the overall profession was, but you didn't get to choose what was in that. So things like yeoman and farmer and cook. Yeoman, I think, was the one that had, it was like you had woodworking, forestry, and tailoring, which was cool, but you couldn't, maybe it wasn't tailored, but there was ones where you would get, like, I remember with, like, my woodworker, it was like woodworking, forestry, maybe that was the one, woodworking, forestry, and I can't remember, there was something else that I got that was completely useless and I never used it. So you could sometimes get really good combinations, but sometimes it wasn't perfect. You would use like 2 of the 3 things. That was the old way. So the new way is when you come to talk to the Master of Apprentices to get your skills for the first time, you get to choose any combination of 3 that you want, which is so freaking cool. Because you can get exactly what you want and need to support this character. Before, if I want to do this, usually, and I talked about this in another video, usually I would take like 2, if not 3 characters to supply gear to one character. So a perfect example of this is if I was playing a tank type character, I would need an armor smith to supply the armor, a weaponsmith to supply the weapons, and then I would also need a jeweler to supply the jewelry. But now I can refine that and simplify it a little bit because of the new system. Because not only do you get to choose these 3 immediately, the 3 that you want, there's also the option to add a 4th via the LOTRO store. And I immediately did that upon learning that that was a thing, because I have built up tons of alts over the years on the main servers. I have 2 accounts. I have crafters on both. I love crafting this game. I love crafting this game. And I've always had a lot of fun with it. But I'm on a legendary server and we're starting from scratch. So this was a conversation about, something, if you're brand new to the game, the new player experience of this. I think the 4th adds a 4th dimension to crafting in this gameplay, in this game now, because so this is the perfect example. I have a hunter here, and I went with tailor, forester, and woodworker. That's all I need to support myself. That allows me to make the leather gear for my character to have the best gear in the game, right, for questing as I'm leveling up. I get all that from killing mobs. That's easy. Forestry allows me to chop trees and refine those trees and to refine hides. So that supplies both my tailor and my woodworker. And my woodworker finally is the character who makes all of my bows and can also make wooden weapons that I can use. So this is really cool. You can go staffs and spears. Um, yeah, it's totally worth it. One of the things I think is really cool about this also is just as a woodworker being able to also make like instruments and things. So um, there's a lot of fun we can have with those three. Completely sustainable. I don't need anything else beyond that. But I was able to pick up a fourth, and I went, ooh, I'm gonna take prospecting, because for me in this character, I can use prospecting to mine things and sell, because the ore is extremely valuable in the auction hall. It is on every single live server and every single progression server, because so many classes need the ore. But also from a purely going back to the example of, let's say I make a guardian or a captain or some plate wearing character, right? I can now create someone who's an armor smith or weaponsmith, excuse me. I can have a weaponsmith, a metalsmith, a jeweler, and a prospector all in the same account, which gives me 3 total crafting vocations. They weren't called professions, right? They were called vocations, I think. Maybe that's what they were called. Anyway, that gives me 3 different professions, plus the mining skill that is behind all 3 of those, which is mining ore. That is insane, because that used to need 3 different characters, because the primary crafting was tied to the vocation / profession, right? So if you wanted to be a weaponsmith, that's one character. You want to be an armor smith, that's another character. You want to be a jeweler, that's another character. But now you could have all 3 on the same account. That blew my mind yesterday when I found that out. I was like, oh my god, that is probably one of the best changes they've made to the game that I can think of in a very, very long time, was allowing us to choose the ones we want and then also add a fourth, so that we can supply ourselves without needing to make a whole bunch of alts. That's really, really cool. So I highly approve of the way that you now get your professions here. And if you decide you want to change something along the way, you can come back to the Master of Apprentices wherever you're crafting. I'm in Bree at the moment, but it's in every starter area. And you could forget one of these and replace it with something else if you decide you didn't like the one that you got. Maybe you decide later on down the road that you want to learn Scholar because you want to make dyes for the different gear in the game, because that's a whole nother... if you get into the cosmetics of this game, dyeing armor is a massive thing. So if you want to become a character who can sell dyes to other players or make dyes for yourself to use on your other things, maybe you change over to Scholar at some point down the road. It's a really flexible system. I'm really happy with this change. Really cool. I just wanted to show it off here on the channel because I didn't know about this, and I don't know when it happened. But last time I played was probably a year and a half ago, maybe, as of this recording. It was before Umbar. I think it was around the time landscape difficulties were added. I think was the last time I played. And I don't remember this being in then. So, really cool change to the crafting system in Lord of the Rings Online. I really like the new system. Yeah. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams here and on Twitch. I've been playing LOTRO on the Angmar server on Monday nights at 6 p.m. Central, so maybe we'll see you there. Otherwise, I play a lot of different games during the daytime hours. It is a variety channel, so hopefully we'll see you in the next stream. Stay safe, everybody. Happy gaming.